Hey, it's your girl Carla Renata, aka the Curvy Film Critic. Baby, if somebody wanted to give me 4.2 million and play a game for me to do that, I would be all in. Stay tuned for my coverage of Squid Game Challenge on Netflix.
Hold up. Wait a minute. I wish you love, peace, and hair grease.
Love, peace, and hair grease, y'all.
Yeah, you know, we shoot straight from the hip.
This is Carla Renata, aka the Curvy Critic, and I shoot straight from the hip.
Yeah, you know, we shoot straight from the hip.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Curvy Critic with Carla Renata. I am Carla Renata. Thank you so much for tuning in. Happy Sunday, this December 3rd at 7:30 p.m. on the West Coast. Hello. I am a little befuddled today because I had a lot going on. I hope you guys had a happy Thanksgiving and that everything was copacetic with that. But I had so many things going on that I just couldn't wait to share them all with you. If this is your first time joining me, please give me a big thumbs up to let me know that you were here. If you were watching on the YouTube, if you were watching this via Facebook, Twitter, and any other streaming platform that I happen to be on. Thank you so much for joining me, whether you're here in real time or you join me afterwards. I appreciate you. So let's get into it. There was a lot of things going on this past week. You know, the strike has let up, and so everybody and their mama is doing things, but I was particularly busy. This afternoon, I went to the I belong to another organization called AFCA, and AFCA had their TV honors, the annual TV honors today, this afternoon. So that's why I'm a little late with my stuff because I was, trying to do that. We honored a plethora of people, including Miss Jessica Williams for her role, excuse me, in her TV show. We honored, who else did we honor? We honored Jennifer Hudson. We also honored, see if I can pull it. I'm sorry, it's taking me a minute to pull up these pictures, y'all, because I didn't put them in order. We honored Jennifer Hudson, we honored Jessica Williams, and we honored, here we go. We honored Delroy Lindo, and we honored Miss Marla Gibbs. I don't have her picture in here. In addition to all of that, we honored the cast of P-Valley. There's my girl, Brandy. Love her. She took this beautiful picture of me as I was presenting the Best TV Actress Award to Niecy Nash Betts, who was unable to join us for the ceremony, but we honored her anyway. I also went to a holiday celebration that was specifically for the Critics' Choice organization, where we saw a press conference on films like A Million Miles Away. Most of the press conference panels were moderated by that young woman on your far right, Miss Janelle Riley from Variety. We also got to talk to the creative team behind Air. On this picture, you see in the middle is the editor, to your far right is the costume designer, and the far left is the production designer who is in charge of getting some of those crazy props. We also had a Q&A, again, hosted by Janelle Riley, around Cassandra Garcia Bernal. And, that film is directed by my good friend, Roger Ross Williams, and my birthday twin. So I was very excited about that. We also, I went to a dinner where at the Huntley Hotel in Santa Monica. I know y'all are seeing this pink shrug a lot, but I was all about that pink shrug. And then they also had a situation this weekend. Oh, wait, let me finish. And so I took a picture with a basketball. Y'all know I don't play sports, but I looked cute with that basketball, right? And they also did a panel with the cast of Air, which includes Viola Davis, her husband, Julius Tenen, Jason Bateman, Marlon Wayans, and of course, the director and writer, Ben Affleck. That particular panel was hosted by Scott Movie Mance. The William Women in Film had a big 50-year celebration over the weekend where they honored a plethora of women, including Eva Longoria, Lily Tomlin, Jane Fonda, and my old castmate from Superstore, America Ferrera. Then I went and I played these Squid Games, and we're going to get into that too. So, Squid Game Challenge is a show that is airing on Netflix right now. The first part of it, the first couple of episodes of it will air on December 6th. I'm sorry, are airing now, and the finale will air on December 6th. So I won't spoil the finale for you because I know who the finalists are, but I don't want you to know that because that wouldn't be fun. That's not hot. But Netflix invited us to an event which centered around the Squid Game. It was hilarious, and I made it all. I did that whole red light, green light thing, and I made it almost down to the end. Didn't quite get to the finish line, but I made it. But honey, let me just tell you, this doll is like it's so creepy. So when they did red light, green light, her little head turned around, and as soon as her head turned around and her eyes turned like fire engine red, we had to run. I was like, I am not having any of this in this moment. The doll was creeping me out, but it was fun. I had a great, 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 great time. And then in addition to all of that, I went to we went to a couple of receptions for like Barbie, Air, and then we went to this one with Saltburn, where I am flanked by my fellow Critics' Choice um, members, which include Danielle Broadway, Ricky Valero, Dana Klein, Wilson Morales, Tim Gordon, and his lovely girlfriend, Heather. That is all of us in that picture. And then, of course, to round out my little photo parade, here's a picture of me at the Santa Monica Beach this afternoon as we were about to embark upon the AFCA TV honors. All right, so today we're going to get into a bunch of films, including. Oh, wait, I want to show you this too. So this is in the room where you have to pick whether you're in the Squid Games, you have to pick a shape. I was like, Lord, please help me. That's what that face is. Okay, anyway. Today, we're going to talk about a plethora of films, including Origin, which is the Ava DuVernay new film that stars Ingenue Ellis. We're also going to talk a little bit about Anselm around this artist right here. I have some of the members of the Squid Game Challenge, and we'll be talking to them. And I'm going to do a review of, I said Anselm, I said Origin. I know I'm missing something. Oh, I almost buried the lead. American Symphony. So let me come on camera and talk about that for just a second. So American Symphony is a documentary that is streaming on Netflix. It's centered around Jon Batiste. Now, if that name sounds familiar, he was the band leader on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, which unfortunately got canceled this week because Stephen Colbert, he had a health emergency, health scare, and so they canceled the show. So that's done, and I'm pretty sure that they knew ahead of time that that show was gonna go bye-bye. But anyway, um, so there's that. Uh, so I was talking about American Symphony. So American Symphony is directed by the Oscar-nominated director Matthew Heineman, excuse me. And the film takes place, well, not takes place, but it's a documentary, and it begins in 2022, just as Jon Batiste learns he's nominated for 11 Grammys. It's hilarious how he said, I thought somebody was playing a joke. And then, among many other high points in his career that particular year, um, as he's preparing to embark upon this one night only performance at Carnegie Hall to present American Symphony, an orchestral piece intended to modernize the form, his career is picking up momentum. And then his life partner, Suleika Jawad, learns that after a decade-long remission, her cancer has returned. So American Symphony chronicles the emotional heights and depths that follow, creating a narrative that's part love story and part exploration of the processes and motivations behind these two incredible creatives and individuals. So I have an interview with them, and I have the interviews with two of the cast members of Squid Game Challenge. Let's get into a couple of films though before we get into the interviews with John and Suleika. And I think I had some interviews left over from Candy Cane Lane. If we have some time, I'll show those. But I really want to get into the Squid Game situation. But let me talk about this film that I saw called Eileen. Ooh, baby, Eileen was no, I'm not gonna talk about Eileen first. I'm gonna talk about Eileen later. Let me talk about let me talk about Origin. I'll talk about Origin first. So Origin is a Neon Studios and Array film. It's directed and written by Ava DuVernay, and it's based on the Isabel Wilkerson book called Cast. And Ingenue Ellis is the star of this film. It also stars John Bernthal and Niecy Nash. It centers around Ingenue Ellis, who plays Isabel Wilkerson in this piece. Basically, she is really grappling with tremendous personal tragedy, and she sets herself on this path of global investigation and discovery as she writes Caste, The Origins of Our Discontents. Now, what this means is she decided that she was going to find out if racism comes about because of the caste system. So if you don't know what the caste system is, it's a system that basically decides who's better than whom based on their economic standing or their color or the color of their skin and or their race. So she had this theory that racism is based on a caste system. And she went to India, she went to Africa, she studied some places here in America. And what she says actually makes a whole lot of sense. If you have not read that book by Isabel Wilkerson, I highly suggest that you check it out. I've read it and it's amazing. I've read it a couple of times actually. It's amazing. But what's even more amazing is the way that Ava has written and directed this film. I think it may be her best film to date. She also investigates the caste system in terms of interracial relationships and what that's like because in the film her husband is a white man, and there's some things that happen with him that I don't want to tell you because I want you to see the film. It's going to be in theaters in limited release on December 8th. Ingenue Ellis is doing the daggone thing. I'm like, I don't know what it's gonna take for Ingenue to get her props, but she really needs to get her props. So there's that. There's another film that I talked about a little earlier in the show. It's called Anselm, and it is a documentary centered around this man right here. So it's directed by Wim Wenders, who is a legendary documentarian director, and it's going to be in limited release on December 8th in theaters, and it's chronicling Anselm Kiefer, who creates works of art that explore human existence and the cyclical nature of history. And he sheds light on the work of an artist and reveals his inspiration processes and fascination with myth and history. This film literally is probably, other than, and I think I talked about this during the award, not during the award season, but during the documentary awards and during some of the film festivals, I talked about this film. And I said that I thought that this film, in addition to Occupied City, is one of the most beautifully cinematic films that I've ever seen. It is gorgeously cinematic. What Anselm does with his work, he left his home country to come to America to become an artist because he wasn't allowed the freedom to do that in his home country. He came to America and now he's like legendary. He did this thing with some fire. I was like, oh Lord, he gonna burn down the warehouse. But he didn't burn down the warehouse. It was absolutely amazing. But you guys check it out. It is called Anselm, and it will be in theaters in limited release on 12/8, December 8th. It is a Janus Films production. Let me check the chat real quick. I'm sure it's Brandon. Yes, it is. So Brandon says, Hey, Carla, we're in the final month of 2023. I can't wait for Chicken Run 2, Migration, The Boy and the Heron, and Merry Little Batman. I got you on all of those. All of those. I'm going to cover all of those. So I can't wait for you to hear what I have to say. And he says, also, my animation classes are going great. I might be taking storyboard classes next. I'll be doing both my classes that I'm doing now. You know what, Brandon? You are doing the daggone thing. I can't wait until you come here, until you have something that I can talk about for you on the Curvy Film Critic with Carla Renata. All right, so having said that, let's get into this Squid Game challenge, y'all. So two of the contestants that I talked to, they were two sisters, and when I say sisters, I mean, you know, Black people. Their names were Ashley and Felicia. And Felicia and Ashley were just really grounded, really rooted. They're both moms, and they seemed unflappable with most of it until, you know, it came to a time where one of them had to leave the competition. So we sat down and we talked about that, and I want to share that conversation with you. So this is Ashley and Felicia from Squid Game Challenge, streaming on Netflix. Out of the Curvy Film Critic. Ooh. Hello, ladies. She said, ooh.
She's cute. Come on, Curvy Film Critic.
Yes, girl, yes. So I just want to say it warmed my heart to see some sisters in the competition. I was really loving it, and what I really loved about it is that, you know, usually when we see us in these types of competitions, when it's women, there's a little cattiness, there's a little fakeness going on. There was none of that going on with y'all, and I really, really loved and appreciated that. But I wondered how that felt for y'all to be in that position, to be supportive and and have that true sisterhood.
I think it was nice to have somebody to bond with and relate to. We really related more so on our kids and missing our children, and so one, we're not just these Black beautiful women with sister locks. We have, you know, children, we're mothers too, and
we got shit going on.
Yeah, we have jobs. There was so much like.
There's so many layers to us, and so I think that was easy to form a bond because, you know, we are just dope people, and so, you know, dope people linked up, you know, bad bitches link up, and that's pretty much what happened up in there. Because, you know, there were other, you know, sisters of color in there and things of that, but somehow we kind of like just formed a bond, and, you know, and then also I think just because we were both like super strong, we're kind of, and then like in a sense we're kind of opposite in our personality. Yeah. Like I always tell people, you know, she keeps me grounded, and I'm pretty straightforward. You know, I don't beat around the bush. If I got something to say, you go get it.
You were one person coming into this competition. Do you feel like you became somebody else on the way out?
I feel like I got another layer of tough skin, right? Because the show is over, and now the show is out, and, you know, fans are seeing the show. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, everybody has their opinions, and then social media is alive, and everybody's running to your social media. And you know, not everybody's nice. Not everybody has something nice to say. But I think going through the Squid Games and like that first game being that red light, green light set the tone for like anything in my future. Like if I can do this, like, you know, I can do whatever else is coming ahead of me. But that the first game, red light, green light, that set the tone for like the people that you saw in the dorms. You know, only the biggest and the baddest made it into the dorm.
Was it the same for you?
100%. 100%.
Hey,
touche.
Well, I think that's the perfect note to end on. I'm so happy to talk to you ladies. And when I walked in the room and y'all were looking fantabulous, I'm like, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We had a great time. They were really, really lovely. I really enjoyed talking to them. So next up is Trey and Leanne. And Trey and Leanne are very unusual contestants because they are a mother and son. And I'll just let you listen to what I had to say about that in terms of me and my mama, because I was like, really, y'all? Here we go. Leanne and Trey from Squid Game Challenge on Netflix. Hey, y'all.
Hi.
I really enjoyed watching y'all on this series because there was such heartfelt camaraderie between a mother and a son. Because, honey, I'm going to tell you, if that was me and my mama, it wouldn't have gone past the first episode. We would have been fighting and fussing and carrying on.
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh, it's the truth. How did you convince your mom to do this with you?
So I applied in September 2022. I went through a couple rounds. They had asked if I had any friends if they wanted to be on the show, and I suggested a childhood friend and a friend that I had known for a couple years.
Apparently, I'm not a friend.
And that childhood friend told my sister. My sister
Told me,
Yeah.
and then I immediately texted Trey and said, "I'm not doing anything. I'll do it." And
He's like, I'm
like,
retired. Like,
Really?
I can do this.
Yeah. I said, "Yeah, really." And very quickly, I got an email or a text or something, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'll do it."
Is that Colin? Because I think I heard you say, did you say you had one good knee and one bad knee?
Yeah, one very bad knee. Yes.
Yes, girl. So this is my good knee. This is
That's
my
your
bad
yeah.
knee.
That's right.
So I hollered when I heard you say that.
Yeah.
Having said all of that, that was a really cool story about how your mom got infiltrated into the game. But competition usually brings out the best and the worst of people. What did you find out about yourself in the course of this? Because competition is one thing to do it against somebody that's a friend, but it's different to do it against the person that brought you into the world.
I really do think, just generally speaking, we grew up in a competitive household, so it was always healthy competition. Like, there was never really like a negative connotation surrounding like the act of winning and losing. You win graciously, you lose graciously. There's fun in it.
Yeah.
But like, and there's gloating, and there's like, oh, why'd you do like?
Yeah, and
start making free throws, Trey. Like, what are you doing? They're free for a reason.
Except when any of us played his younger sister, who we had to keep playing until she finally won.
Yeah. She's usually the most
She's very competitive. Yes.
But yeah, the game definitely brought out the best in our relationship, mainly because we played so much together.
Yeah.
Which I was really appreciative of that.
Yeah, we played separate, but we also, we're in it together.
I love that.
Yeah.
What would you say was the most challenging challenge for you, and what was the favorite one, like the one that you were like, oh, that wasn't so bad, that was kind of fun?
Yeah, that was good. For sure, red light, green light for me. Just for,
Most challenging?
the most challenging. It was grueling in every way. I mean, physically, spiritually, emotionally, everything. It was very difficult. But it also brought out that inner strength that you don't always realize is there. And it was really great to see that and to be really proud of that for me, and for the same reason, proud of him.
I think like probably the most fun, or actually probably, yeah, I would say the most challenging was Delgana. I'd never touched that cookie before, before I did it. So to do something correctly, 100% right the first time, wild feeling.
Yeah, that was the most fun for me.
I was in shock at that point. I would say the most fun was probably marbles.
Your mom is like, really? That's the one I went out on. Really? That's your favorite game?
So
Ooh, that was fun.
I think like you can take a look at the emotional stakes of it, but while I was in there, I was obviously feeling those same emotional stakes. I was like freaking out, like crying. But like, we're in the Thunderdome. Like it's Ali and Tyson. Which
one of y'all is Ali? Which one's Tyson?
Yeah. Which one do you want?
I want Ali.
I think you would bite the ear off, so I think I'm Ali.
Oh, no. I want Ali.
That is hilarious. Well, that is my time. I enjoyed speaking with y'all today, and I really immensely enjoyed watching you throughout this competition. It was very heartfelt and very inspiring.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, okay. Bye.
It was fun to do.
It was fun to watch too. They looked like they had a good time, and when their time was up, it broke my heart. It really, really did. All right, so last but not least, let me just talk a little bit about Jon Batiste. I think he has the most beautiful spirit and the warmest heart, and I love that him and his life partner Suleika decided to center this documentary around his highs, but her struggle with her disease, and to inspire people. And I love them together. You can just, I just can't say enough about it, but please check out American Symphony. It is streaming on Netflix right now, and I just can't say enough about it. So without further ado, the last interview for the evening, Miss Suleika Joad and Mr. Jon Batiste from American Symphony. How y'all doing?
Yes, yes. I love this room. Wow, look at that. The colors.
Thank y'all. Thank you so much. So, first and foremost, I really loved this film so very much. And I loved you all watching you all together. It's very symbiotic. So there was a moment that stuck out to me where I saw you guys playing together. What was it like the very first time y'all played together?
Mm. Wow, that was great. I'm trying to remember when we first played together. It was just figuring out the traditions of music that we both knew. It's like you meet a musician and you say, "What songs do you know? What did you play growing up? What you like? You like James Brown? Okay, you like Bach? You like the so just figuring out like what are our common threads, and then playing stuff that we both knew and loved together.
I love that. So, there was a moment where you were teasing Jon about living on the edge, right? You were like, you secretly live on the edge. And there was a quote from your New York Times article where you say youth and health are supposed to be synonymous. If only I could sue my body for breach of contract with the natural order of things. So, having said that, are you secretly living on the edge with all of that going on? And what does the edge look like for y'all right now?
You know, when you're faced with a life-threatening illness, people often tell you that you have to live every day as if it's your last. And as well-intentioned as that advice is, I think it, pushes us to a place of trying to kind of frantically wring as much as we can out of each moment, out of each day. And my experience of living on the edge is a slight reframe of that. Instead of living every day as if it's my last, I'm trying to live every day as if it's my first. With the sense of wonder and curiosity that a newborn baby might. To seek out moments of fun and play and laughter and love, however small that might be each day.
Okay, Suleika, you better be dropping knowledge on us this early in the morning. Okay? Therefore, all of that. Yes, girl. Okay, Jon, I was listening to an interview that Mariah Carey did a little while ago, and she was talking about her process of songwriting, how she back in the day would call her answer machine and leave stuff on the answer machine or put it on. Now she puts it on her phone. What is your method to your madness?
I love doing the voice memos on the phone. I love having ideas that I write on music paper so I get other musicians to play it. And then when they play it, it will bring something out of it that I wasn't hearing necessarily. And I'm like, oh, yeah. So I have that feedback as well from other musicians. I really just go with whatever the flow is taking me. If it means I play all of the instruments like Prince on the record, then I'll do that. If it means I got to go find an orchestra, like in the film, this symphony was so hard to think about doing because once the idea hit me, I was like, oh, man, I got to go create a whole new orchestra to play this. Like, oh, man, I got to go figure this out. So I go with the flow, for better or for worse.
Listen, it's always for better with you. I'm running out of time, but I just want to take this little bit of time that I have left to tell y'all that I adore the both of you together. I adore that you were brave enough and strong enough and resilient enough to put your story on film like that for everybody to see in the hopes that it will help one person that's watching it. And for that, I love you. I appreciate you. I adore you. And I wish you all nothing but the best moving forward in your future endeavor.
Thank you. We love and appreciate you. And thank you for your time.
Oh, I was going to make time for y'all. Trust and believe. I was going to make some time for y'all because that documentary was the ish. Okay. Everything. All right. Thanks, y'all. Their energy, I think I caught them off guard a little bit. They were like, oh, she's so enthusiastic. I don't know what to do with that. But it's really quite lovely. And it will it will uplift you, but it will make you cry. It'll touch your soul and it'll make your spirit soar. So again, American Symphony is streaming on Netflix. I want to talk about one more film. It's called Eileen, and it's directed by William Oldroyd, and it stars Anne Hathaway. Anne Hathaway is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs crazy. I love that she started out in The Princess Diaries, and now she's doing like these crazy films where she's just out there. But at any rate, I digress. This one is going to be released. I'm sorry, has been released as of December 1st. It's in limited release in the United States, and it goes worldwide on December 8th. So it takes place in 1964 in Massachusetts, and there's this young secretary who she becomes enchanted uh, by Rebecca and the glamorous new counselor at the prison where she works. So Rebecca is played by Anne Hathaway, and both of these women work at this prison, right? So their budding friendship soon takes a twisted turn when Rebecca reveals a dark secret. Now, it's based on a book by Moshfegh, and her book is, let me get her right name. Her name is Otessa Moshfegh. So Otessa Moshfegh has this cult favorite book by the same name, Eileen, and it's like a psychological thriller. And the lead character, she's basically invisible. Like people see her, but they don't. They like acknowledge her, but they don't. And she kind of just weaves in and out. She lives with her dad. Her dad is an ex-cop. He's having some issues and she's taking care of him. And she has this routine that she does every day. But when she meets Rebecca, her life gets turned topsy-turvy, upside down. She's looking at Rebecca, who is giving you more of a Marilyn Monroe-ish kind of look, and she's very provocative. She's always smoking a cigarette, and yeah, it's really, it takes twists and turns that you don't see coming. I'm like, ooh, okay, didn't see that coming, didn't see that coming. But it's a nice film, but it's crazy. It is crazy as hell. And if nothing else, the two actresses in it that are the leads are worth the watch all day long. Again, the film is called Eileen. It has been in theaters since December 1st. It's directed by William Oldroyd, and it stars Anne Hathaway. So just to recap, I talked about Squid Game Challenge. I'm sorry, I cannot wrap my mouth around that today. Which is currently streaming on Netflix. I talked about American Symphony, which is currently streaming on Netflix. A lot of Netflix stuff, huh? I talked about Eileen, and I talked about, let's see, Eileen, Squid Game, Eileen, Squid Game, American Symphony, Neon. I talked about Origin, the new Ava DuVernay film, Origin. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful film. And I talked about Anselm. So you guys keep an eye out for these films. We're in award season now, and so every little opinion, every little thing kind of helps. When I come back next week, I will give you a recap of the Critics' Choice celebration of cinema and television, which will be tomorrow night. I'm also going to give you some more Squid Game interviews. We're going to finish up, excuse me. We're going to finish up some interviews based around The Crown. I have the actors that played William, Kate, and Harry in The Crown. And I have some interviews for American Fiction. I will have Jeffrey Wright, who is pictured there in that photograph. I have Tracy Ellis Ross. I have Sterling K. Brown. And I have the director and writer, Cord Jefferson. So next week, we'll have the cast of American Fiction. We're going to review Merry Little Batman, Squid Game I can't get my mouth together today. The Squid Game finalists. Oh, let me come back on camera so y'all aren't thinking I'm crazy. The Squid Game finalists from the Squid Game Challenge, which is on Netflix. I will have them. I will be reviewing Merry Little Batman. I'll have the cast of American Fiction. I will have Kate, Harry, and William from The Crown. All of these things are streaming on Netflix. In a couple of more weeks, I will have some interviews with the cast and not the cast, but the creatives of the film Society of Snow. Now, if you've heard of that film Alive, where the Uruguayan soccer team, a rugby team, had a crash in the Andes Mountains and they ended up eating each other. So back in the day, it was a film called Alive with Ethan Hawke. Now it's called Society of Snow, and it's a completely different take on it, and it will be on Netflix. So I will have the director and one of the real life survivors from that. I will have everybody from The Color Purple, and I will be talking about Maestro, some Christmas films, and Chicken Run Dawn of Nuggets. So that's what's coming up in the next couple of weeks. I thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch my podcast, whether it's in real time or not. I appreciate you. Again, if this is your first time joining me, please give me a big thumbs up to let me know that you stopped by and hollered at your girl. And yeah, so until the next time, love, peace, and hair grease, and deuces, baby. I'll see you on the flip side.